Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I think the first half in the morning, those group presentations were quite interesting, and hopefully, somebody, the organization which is organizing these training sessions, they will compile and the reports will be shared with the government. Now, this session that I will be covering will be about some of the best practices of implementing sustainable development goals, by state government, mainly led by UNDP in partnership with state government and central governments. So I will take you through some of them. There are many, but we will not be able to share because of the time constraint. We have picked up from various states which we feel would be relevant in the context of Meghalaya. So my first slide basically talks about, if a state government wants to implement SDG within the state, then first of all, there needs to be a strong institutional setup. Once the strong institutional setup is there, then it will be easy to implement SDGs. It will bring about transparency, accountability, and also help, in reaching out various stakeholders within a state or at the district level, at the local level. Now, a strong institutional setup basically helps in assisting the government, in integrated policy making. Yesterday, I talked about SDG is not something that, the different goals are working in silos. If you have to implement SDGs, then different departments at the state level, line departments at the district level, they will have to come together and create that kind of a synergy. You realize today, this was a very good example that, different departments came together, looked at a topic, you did SWOT analysis and looked at, what are the opportunities and the action plan, how that could be addressed. So SDG is something like that. And a strong institutional setup also helps you to build interlinkages between various departments, develop a strong monitoring mechanism. Now, if you do not have a monitoring mechanism, you will not know whether you are progressing or not, or what is the pace or the degree at which you are progressing. So you need to have some kind of a baseline, some kind of a target, then you need to have a timeline, and accordingly you need to have strategies. And of course, it also ensures coordination among all the line departments. What UNDP has basically done is, in consultation and in partnership with NITI Aayog, we have collaborated based on the interest of various state governments. So, and the state governments have established something called SDG Coordination Center. Now, SDG Coordination Center is a sort of, special purpose vehicle to enable government to coordinate with various, departments and ensure that certain activities that needs to be done is implemented. Although many of the SDG coordination centers are, co-located within the planning department, finance department in some of the states, but more or less in every state, it is being overseen by the Chief Secretary's office. So this ensures, coordination with all the various departments. And SDG also ensures, good governance and convergence among all the stakeholders, and which is coordinated by, SDG Coordination Center. Now, SDG Coordination Centers are basically, 5 pillars. Now, these are primarily the strategies, how it works, at the state level. One is awareness building, or awareness and the capacity building of government officials at various levels. UNDP has tried doing this, in several states. In Assam, also there used to be a center for SDGs before. Even now it is there, but UNDP is no more associated with that. So initially when this was set up, UNDP provided technical support. We had human resources embedded within the Center for SDGs and did capacity building and sensitization not only of the officials. We have done even for the political leadership, through the Speaker's office. And where ministers, MLAs participated, debated, looked at Agenda 2021, looked at, what are the targets for each of the departments. So those kind of targets were given to each of the departments. We also went to more than 19 districts. Of course, we could not cover all the districts, 9 districts, and we did capacity building with the district administration. SDG Center also helps in localizing. For an example, in the state of Uttarakhand, in the state of Mizoram, localization process started in Mizoram, but then, this has been already rooted very well in the states of Uttarakhand and Karnataka, for an example. Monitoring and evaluation. One of the key features which is essential, UNDP has helped state governments to develop a dashboard to monitor the progress where, the indicators are aligned with various SDG goals, so that every year, or in some of the states, for an example, Uttarakhand, in one of the best practices, in one of the slides, you will see it, that at the district level, based on various parameters, they are measuring the performance of various districts. So the district's performance can be assessed, directly from the Chief Minister's office. So the Chief Minister's office directly know which district is performing better. In case realignment of resources are required, that can be done, based on the requirement of that district. Of course, it also helps, in providing technical support for integrated, planning using innovative solutions from across various states, also, from different parts of the world. And resource mobilization and partnership, which is very important. Yesterday, I talked about, if you have to achieve SDGs goals, the targets which have been set by 2030, the resources that the state government has is not going to be sufficient. We should be in a position to help the government to pull resources, from other sources. For an example, from multilateral, bilateral, as well as, private sector. As I said, right now in 9 states, we have established SDG Coordination Center. Haryana, Punjab, Uttarakhand, Nagaland, Mizoram, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Jammu and Kashmir, and Uttar Pradesh. Assam, we are not supporting anymore because they have their own capacity to do it. So within the last 3 years that we have been working very closely, we have been able to foster that kind of a partnership between the state government and the community, the citizens, at the local level. So, which I think, the gap that we see in the state governments that we work in the Northeast, there is a lot of gap between what the state government is doing and what the local community should be knowing or should be expecting. There is huge gap. So SDG Coordination Center basically tries to fill that gap. I will quickly go through, some of the best practices that we have. In the area of communication and capacity building, I'm just giving an example of Punjab. Punjab initiated, then we replicated in many of the states. So, and in Meghalaya also, you must have realized there was a lot of stigma, when it started, especially the health workers, and people who were the front line, performing the duty of frontline worker, during COVID time, they had to face a lot of discrimination. And the government did not know what to do. So through the SDG Coordination Center, we partnered with various stakeholders, tried to study the issues and strategized how to basically generate awareness using various media among the citizens, that that's how we were able to overcome that. And also, what we were able to do is, in many of the states, we provided psychosocial support to those people, who had been affected. They were mostly, a number was given where, they call, and whatever language that they are familiar with, they could get that kind of a psychosocial support. So this we did at state level in different languages, plus, at the country level we did, where country level we collaborated with TIS, TIS Mumbai, in different languages that, anybody wants to get psychosocial support, they could do that. So all these were possible because the SDG Coordination Center in Punjab, along with the state government of Punjab, initiated this, and we realized this was one good practice that we could replicate in different parts of the country. In Haryana, Haryana was the second state where UNDP was hugely involved in streamlining SDGs. First was Assam, and whatever good lessons were there from Assam, we brought senior officers from from Haryana, interacted with the Chief Secretary's office, sensitized them, they went back and set up, and UNDP provided that kind of a technical partnership. So once we developed the vision document, SDG vision document, and Agenda 2030 for the state government of Haryana, that was done again in consultation with various departments. We generated awareness at various levels so that they knew what was the goal, what is their responsibility as a department, what was the target, and the financial resources that is available. That also you will see in one of the slides how we have helped, in coming out with an SDG outcome budget. Again, in the case of Haryana, of course, again, we replicated in other states. First of all, we came up with, an SDG portal. Now, SDG portal will have all the information which is relevant to various departments, the kind of knowledge resources that they require, in terms of budgeting, in terms of planning, making action plans. So all those resources available in one portal. Then we generate awareness that, in case you require this kind of information, this is the location in the portal where you will get all the information. Okay. Then, so that there is, generally what happens is that, you put the resources, but then if you don't follow up, if you don't continuously engage with the end users, then, it remains stagnant. So what we did is we, came up with different types of quizzes, competitions, some kind of prizes so that they could participate. We came up with various films to encourage various departments, based on the kind of work that they do. For an example, if the education department is doing very good work related to SDGs, we made films. So everybody felt that, they were contributing to something, that they were required to do. So that kind of an ownership was there. Similarly, we came up with SDG Anthem, where we showed farmers, it was also a video, then we collaborated with All India Radio. Through All India Radio, some kind of in between, that kind of a jingle was there. Then social media handles, we use Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram, so that whatever information was being, event or anything which was being done, it was updated. Policy, in the area of policy advocacy, in the state of Karnataka, now if you look at, the findings as per, the 5th National Family Health Survey in the context of Karnataka, malnutrition was found to be one of the major issues. The data shows that, 35% of the children under 5 are stunted, almost 20% are wasted, 8% are severely wasted, 33% underweight, and 50% of women and adolescents suffer from anemia. That this was something very critical for the state government, that once the finding was done, which is known there as hidden hunger. So what UNDP did is UNDP analyzed everything, and we developed a draft state nutrition policy for the state government. What the government should do if we have to address these issues, something like a SWOT analysis that you did here. Okay, so they did the SWOT analysis, and what kind of an action that the governments and different relevant departments working in the area of nutrition and health, what action they need to take. And of course, we used community radio. I have not seen very popular here in the Northeast, but in certain states, especially in Karnataka, community radio is very, very popular. So we use that kind of a medium where the local content creators, they created content in their own local language about SDG issues, about real life stories, and they broadcast those kind of an information. And of course, we also collaborated with civil society organizations and NGOs on dissemination of SDGs. Here in our neighborhood in Mizoram, we are working again very closely with the government of Mizoram on localization of SDGs up to the village level. We have already done development of local indicator framework and capacity building of the state government. Next level, we are going to go out and start sensitizing the local communities. And again, in Bodo territorial region, through International Knowledge Festival that they had organized, we found that as an opportunity to sensitize government officers as well as the youth and the citizens that participated there. In addition to the various knowledge products, we did a lot of fun games so that youth are interested to come and participate. We distributed prizes, so it attracted a lot of footfalls in that area. We also developed for that autonomous region, for the 5 districts, a vision 2030. We went up to the district level to build capacity, generate awareness, and help them to, make plans, develop schemes. Generally, what happens is that Bodoland Territorial Council is again, autonomous councils. When we were doing the SDG vision, we realized that, all the budget schemes and everything is developed from the secretariat in Kokrajhar, not getting feedback, from the districts and the beneficiaries which are there. So we went there based on the findings of the Northeast District SDG Index that my colleague Prayashi presented yesterday. We analyzed each of the critical issues, the performance of that particular districts in various indicators. Education, okay, if the drop rate was this much high, what are the actions that you need to take? We sat down with the district administration and we said, okay, if you have to prevent, dropout rate, reduce this dropout rate within 3 years by half, then these are the action that you need to take. Now, if you want to materialize the actions that you have given, then you require financial resources. So you need to develop schemes, and these schemes needs to go to the secretariat in Kokrajhar, so that the finance department incorporates those, accordingly, and the schemes on education is being formulated. So we did similar exercise across all the 5 districts. And we realized in the last budget that they presented that, at least it was much better, as compared to the previous budget which was being presented. Nagaland, again, in our neighborhood, we came up with publications which basically, and in 2020 February, there was a meet organized in Assam Administrative Staff College, where we got chief ministers of all the states, chief secretaries of all the states, and also, the senior officials to basically tell them what SDG is all about. And that, the top political leadership should be taking the ownership. Now, if the political leadership does not take the ownership, then, that will not materialize whatever work that we want to do. We have seen this ourselves, in states where we are working very closely. Once the Chief Minister's office takes the leadership, then for us it is so easy to implement. Nagaland, for an example, Mizoram, for an example, is so easy to implement because everybody knows the Chief Minister's office has a stake in the work that UNDP is doing. So we try to engage with all the Chief Ministers, Chief Secretaries, and Nagaland was able to highlight the kind of a work that they are doing there, the kind of a plan that they have, for 2030. So similarly, again, in terms of sensitization within the state of Nagaland, Christmas is one of the, the greatest festivals there. We found that as an opportunity that, we need to engage the youth and make them the torch bearers of SDGs, in the villages that they come from. So we made, events were organized, competitions were organized, prizes were distributed, so the participation was very encouraging. Hornbill, another platform, thousands of people come and visit. So since 2021, every year, we have been, setting up a pavilion there, a morung, where, all the resources are there. Youngsters come, participate, they know what SDG is all about. Again, in Nagaland, we have, action research project. So because when we are talking of addressing the contemporary problems, which are complex, also requires, innovative thinking and action. The traditional way of implementing projects, traditional way of looking at how to solve the problem is not going to address the current issues. The complex problem should be addressed with innovative thinking, with innovative techniques. So we have competition there. And we select the best action research projects, the proposals that come. We give funding, as a pilot so that, they are able to demonstrate. So first phase of the action research project has been done already. 4 of them were very successful. Now we are in the process of replicating it and scaling it up. So this is one of the very good examples. This year we propose to, have second round where we are going to support 5 more different projects. Again, during the time of COVID, similar things that I said, that, how to address stigma and other issues related to COVID, we supported. SDG Action Award. Again, a sort of a competition. There are many individuals, many corporates, or many NGOs, as well as, government institutions. They are doing excellent work, but there is no visibility. So what UNDP has done is UNDP has documented. We started this with Punjab, and we started giving SDG Action Awards so that, people who are behind those kind of an initiative, they are being recognized. And it also encourages others to basically follow that kind of a work. Formulation of strategic action plan. Strategic action plan, we have been doing in most of the states where we are working. But Punjab took one step ahead. They did strategic action plan for all the districts. And this strategy, and this was for 4 years. This is aligned to the state's strategic action plan. We started with Punjab. We did it in Haryana, did it in Uttarakhand, did it in Karnataka. Now it is being done in Tamil Nadu and also other states. The budget that I was talking about, which is extremely important. We initiated this with the government of Assam in 2017. Then Haryana replicated this, but Haryana went way much ahead than what Assam government did. In the beginning of the year, before the budget, what basically SDG Coordination Center does is, they engage with every department, look at what are the priorities, and they engage with the finance department to ensure that the kind of schemes or the programs that develop is mapped to certain SDG goal. So when they are presenting the budget, they know for SDG goal number 1, how many thousand crores is being allocated. SDG goal, how many thousand crores. So every goal that they allocate, the resources that they allocate for every goal, they are aware. And at the end of the year, after 31st of March, again, the SDG Coordination Center helps the finance department. Okay, X amount was the resources allocated for meeting SDG goal, and what was the actual expenditure. If there was like lot of negative balance, then find out the reason why. And which are the departments which were not able to perform, which were not able to spend that kind of a resources, and what is the capacity building that is required. So this kind of the technical support is being provided to the government of Haryana. Of course, again, in Karnataka, we helped them to come out with a vision document, and Karnataka is the only state which has more than 600 indicators. Now, one thing you need to remember is the less indicators that you have, it is much easier for us to basically monitor. The more indicators that you have, that it's extremely difficult to monitor. For an example, Northeast SDG District Index, it has only 84 indicators. And working with 8 state governments, 129 districts, we know what nightmare we went through. My colleague Prayashi will know, probably colleague from the planning department will know how much my colleague Prayashi had to constantly follow up with you all just to get the data. So imagine, when you are trying to basically do that kind of a work for 600 plus indicators, it is like, you need to be a superhuman. Yeah, so this is the vision document for Karnataka. Yeah. Now, yeah, as I said, state is one level, then district is another level that we are looking at. In Karnataka and in Uttarakhand, we have helped develop SDG cell at the district level that directly works with the collector. They call it collector that side, deputy commissioners or deputy collectors this side. So that helps again to, to monitor and to work closely with various line departments related to SDGs. CPGG Uttarakhand, that is Center for Public Policy and Good Governance. That is again an SDG center which is embedded within the planning department. We have helped them, come up with various modules at the panchayat level so that SDG is aligned with CPDP, Gram Panchayat Development Plans. So, and we have also helped them develop local indicator framework, capacity building up to the panchayat level. And as I had already said, at the district level, we have developed 35 district indicator framework, which helps them to monitor constantly, about their progress, monthly progress, and which is there again, in the portal. And of course, develop District Vision 2030 for all the districts in Uttarakhand. Resource mobilization, one of the main aspects where the states in the Northeast are struggling. And we are also struggling because getting private sector to participate on the SDG initiative here in the Northeast is extremely challenging. Because the corporate sector, whatever CSR funding that they give, they have a vested interest. So because they do not have operations here in the Northeast, they have no much interest. As per the CSR policy developed by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, 2% of their net income, they are supposed to give it for CSR. And states like Maharashtra, they get the bulk of the CSR fund. Karnataka is, of course, second state, which also gets substantial amount of corporate funds. So, but these were being done haphazardly. If a corporate sector is interested for something, they just used to support that kind of an initiative. But what our colleagues in SDG Center in Karnataka thought is that, why don't we take this as an opportunity and mobilize resources, in streamlining SDGs within the state of Karnataka. So we developed something called an Akanksha platform. Now, Akanksha platform is an AI-enabled portal where whichever departments which are interested to participate on this, from the government, also the civil society organizations, if they are being, vetted by government agency, indicating that they are doing a good work, they can submit a proposal, a sort of a synopsis within the portal. And our colleagues in SDG Center basically mobilize with different private sector to participate in this initiative. So what AI basically does is, suppose an education department says that, funds are required for construction of school in XYZ villages, and approximately, say, 50 crores is required. So corporates which are interested in supporting educational initiative can contribute. So the corporate sector which indicates what are the areas that they are interested, it is being fed in the portal, and automatically the AI basically connects those corporate sectors. Here is an opportunity, okay. The Department of Education requires 50 crores, my corporate can give maybe 1 crore. So automatically, that's kind of a linkages that it creates. So till now, we have been able to mobilize only in Karnataka in the last 2 years through this platform more than 270 crores. And this is again being used, although for various education, health, but of course it is aligned to SDGs. And of course, during COVID time, we tried to do a lot of innovative things. Women self-help groups in Karnataka were finding very challenging. So we created a platform and help, because we have a lot of tie-ups with a lot of corporates, institutional buyers, and also bulk buyers to reach out by creating some kind of a marketing platform. And by the way, Akanksha right now has been replicated in many of the states. In the Northeast, we are trying to replicate it in Mizoram. We are trying to do it in Nagaland. But as I said, the challenges remain because there is very little interest from the private sector. Monitoring and evaluation is again, one of the key things. And what again to start with, Punjab, Haryana and Karnataka state, they took a leadership of developing, a system to track Atmanirbhar Bharat, the financial stimulus which was given by the central government, to address issues related to COVID. And a lot of funding was given to, various departments in various states. So what Atmanirbhar Bharat tracker basically does is it assists states in setting up a mechanism to monitor how the funds are being used. It also measures the performance of various departments. So through this tracker, the government is able to know if, say, X crore of funding was received under Atmanirbhar, which department was able to spend how much. And these were also, how relevant. Basically, the tracker helps you to do that. And this also can be customized, if there is a huge funding program for under any other scheme, this can be done. The state indicator framework, district indicator framework, and also local indicator framework we have already talked about. We have helped many of the state government to develop this so that the kind of a work that they do, the schemes that they have, it is aligned to various SDG goals and they can monitor. Okay, we have two films, short films that we want to show you. One is on the Akanksha platform, that is, a platform to mobilize resources from the private sector. Second one is an SDG dashboard in Punjab. Through this SDG dashboard, how the senior officials within the government and the public is able to see on real time what is the progress, what is the performance of various districts. So this platform basically provides those kind of features. I think this is my last slide. Yes, thank you. So we have two videos. Can we connect the sound system, please? So, Akanksha. Just wait. You can see the picture of the previous chief minister because this was done, in the previous term, not the current chief minister. So
Sustainable Development Goals 2030 are a global agenda to reach a just, equitable, its goals is of utmost importance. SDG Dashboard is a collaborative effort of the Government of Punjab and Sustainable Development Goals Coordination Center to enable a data-driven platform for monitoring the progress of SDGs in Punjab. The dashboard allows department-wise and designation-specific customized view, that is, while the Chief Minister, Chief Secretary, and Principal Secretary can view the performance of all departments at state and district levels. The department directors, data entry officers, specific to only their departments. Let's take you through what the Chief Minister, Chief Secretary, Principal Secretary will see when they log in onto the dashboard via their Data View module. The dashboard enables to see data in three ways: Punjab ranking in NITI Aayog SDG India Index, Punjab Department and SDG-wise performance derived from 4 years strategic action plans, and Punjab district-wise SDG performance. In the Punjab SDG India Index, the performance of Punjab on all SDGs can be tracked as compared to last year and also as compared to the best performing state for that particular SDG. Further, under the All States tab, the overall composite score of all states for SDGs can be viewed. In the Punjab Department and Worldwide section, the performance of individual SDG with more detail can be viewed. A brief about each goal can be seen by clicking on the SDGs. Clicking on the index score graph shows the performance of Punjab on the SDG across the last 3 years. Clicking on departments, we can see a list of all the departments associated with the SDG. Clicking on total schemes, a list of all the schemes associated with the SDG can be viewed. The budget section gives the overall budget allocated by the state government to the SDG. Clicking on total indicators, the details of all the linked indicators to the SDG can be viewed. The filter option enables the user to choose which sections the individual wants to view. In the download section, the report on details of indicators can also be downloaded. The department and scheme section enables the user to see the list of indicators for which the department is responsible. The indicators are further divided as indicators linked with the schemes, indicators not linked with the schemes. Besides indicators, the department-related SDGs, total schemes and budget can also be seen. In the district index section, the composite score and performance of Punjab districts can be viewed. Clicking on different SDGs on the heat map, the performance of districts on different SDGs can be viewed. Hovering on the map shows a brief about the district's performance. The table shows the ranking and performance of different districts on the district indicator framework. A separate section enables the user to download the department-wise 4-year strategic action plans. A mobile app to view the SDG dashboard readily is being developed and will soon be available. The app will make tracking progress on SDGs more convenient and handier. SDGCC, making SDGs happen.
Thank you very much. Any questions before I hand over to my colleague? Okay, if there are no questions, then I will request my colleague Munmi to take us over SDG Knowledge Hub. She is going to explain to you what it is all about.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Okay. Right. So we have this website. This website name is also given in the board. So you can write it down, or maybe you can already check in your mobiles. UNDP, in collaboration with Seoul Policy Center, has developed this website, SDG knowledgehub.undp.org.in. It mostly revolves around India and its work around SDG. I'll show you how to what are the things that you can explore here. This is an open portal where we have put in e-learning, so you can basically, you can see it, right? So in the e-learning section, anyone and everyone can go through the courses, learn and participate. It's a self-paced courses. Self-paced courses are available. So you can learn about SDGs, you can take a test, and once you complete the course, you will get certificates from UNDP. Okay? This is how it looks. Say, for example, and all the courses are free of cost. Yeah? You can see the different courses that are available here. So as I said, these are all open-ended and self-paced courses, starting with beginner, it can go to intermediate and then advanced courses. Fine. Then also you will see in the resources section, there are various reports which are available. There are SDG tools. I'll show you the SDG tools. Sorry, the internet is a little slow. Please bear with me. So you'll find various reports, status reports of the states of India, vision documents. Here already sir has explained that we have had many vision documents related to SDG, not only in Northeast but across India. So you can access all those here. We also have the indicator frameworks and dashboards and web portals available. Whenever you feel like accessing in reference to your departments, or if it's something that interests you, you can easily access this in this portal. The compilation is a continuous work in this website. So if in case you do not find any recent or when the report keeps on updating, so but then you will have to know that the things will be always there. It might take a few months time to get updated, but most of the things are already compiled here. And then we have the localization section here. Have you been able to use it in your phone? Can you access it? Anybody has tried? Let me know if anyone has been able to open it. So this is about localization. It's a very informative website that has been developed. So I'm pretty sure it'll be of very good help for every one of you. Okay. Any questions in this about this? Okay. Thank you so much for your time, everyone.